Pardon me, what are the books like Wisdom in the Apocrypha considered not divinely inspired when they were considered divinely inspired for over 1,000 years?
So here's the funny thing. The New Testament, anybody know how old it is? 2,000 years old. And that right there is actually part of the answer. There was a guy named Jerome. He lived in the 4th century, and he translated the Bible into Latin. It's called the Latin Vulgate because in that day, Latin was kind of the language that everybody spoke. Well, as time went on, maybe you know this from history, Latin became a language that was dead, and nobody spoke it anymore. The Roman Catholic Church continued to use the Latin Vulgate. Well, in the 4th century, when Jerome was translating the Bible into Latin so that people could read it, he actually got into a big debate because there were some of the powers that be in the Roman Catholic Church of his time that wanted the Apocrypha in the Vulgate for various reasons. Some of them, quite frankly, were a little political. And Jerome didn't want to translate it, and here's the reason why. He knew that the ancient Jews did not accept the Apocrypha. He also knew that the ancient Jews, for them, the Old Testament, which is what the Apocrypha is supposedly a part of, was written in Hebrew, but the books like Wisdom and Maccabees, they were written in Greek. And so he said, I only want to translate books that have to them what he called, I love this phrase, the Hebrew verity. In other words, I know that this is what the Jews accepted. These are the Hebrew books. These are the ones that I want to translate. And it was quite a big debate between Jerome and the Roman Catholic Church. And what happened during the Protestant Reformation was that a lot of the reformers simply picked up on that ancient tradition, even more ancient than the Apocrypha, of the Hebrew verity of the Old Testament scriptures.
You know, this also touches on some other books that are not included in the canon. We call the books of the Old and New Testament the canon of Scripture, the books that have been accepted for all of those years that Zach mentioned. And there are other books, like for a while it was popular, the hidden Gospels or the Gnostic Gospels. And the fact of the matter is that these are books that were written in ancient times, but they've never been accepted by the church as being Holy Scripture. And so don't let anybody fool you or deceive you. It's not like they were there and somebody made an arbitrary choice and now they're out. These are books that were never incorporated in the canon of Scripture, and that's why they're not in the canon that we have in our Bibles today.